Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. And to the Arab people amongst you, Kifa halek. I don't know how to say that in Iranian. I really should know how to say, how are you doing in Iranian? Anybody? All right. I'll learn it from Press TV. Thank you. Mercy. I'm here tonight to celebrate the work of a charity that has really touched my heart. And I can see by everybody here who knows, and has probably been here for the 6th year running, you know it much better than I do, but really the work of Ms. Kareem and all of the other patrons and all of the volunteers here tonight deserves our gratitude, because looking after orphans and those who struggle to make ends meet and those with disabilities is something that, as Muslims, as human beings, we hold that so much more important than how successful we might be and our own egos. So I'm going to give a little taste tonight of what I'd like to share with you, which is my journey to Islam. Because I have to say, a year ago, I couldn't imagine myself standing here without my blonde hair out, without other bits of me out, really. Probably without a glass of wine in my hand. So it seems like a very sudden journey, but it began as so much of what I call my real life began in Palestine in 2005. In 2005, I was a journalist living in France, in a nice little farmhouse, writing articles about living in France in a nice little farmhouse, which is a good job if you can get it. I also wrote about politics, but I had no sensation of needing to do something for anyone else. It just hadn't really occurred to me. I thought I was a nice person, but really my ego was out of control. The media does terrible things to a human being, and it certainly doesn't enlighten us or put us on a spiritual path. But there is one being who puts us on a spiritual path. And I didn't know either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or that I was on that path. So in 2005, when the Palestinian delegate to the United Kingdom, Afif Safir, said to me, Lauren, you've shown some interest in Palestine. Why don't you go? I said to him, is there anything else I could do to show interest in Palestine? Because I was scared. Because somehow, deep inside me, I'd absorbed all of the media preconceptions about Arabs and all of the suppositions about the bogeymen of the 21st century, Muslims. No, I didn't ever externalize that because it wasn't real to me. But I'll tell you, when I first crossed into the West Bank that night in January the 19th, 2005, and I went through an Israeli checkpoint, I knew then that I had a definite mild dose of Islamophobia. I'll remember that moment when I went into the West Bank, because the Israeli soldier looked at my passport as I went through in the taxi and said, British, hey, we love Britain. You can love that, can't you? An American in an Israeli uniform welcoming a Briton to his land. It made me feel a little bit sick. So I went through into Ramallah, and I was lucky enough to get an interview with Mahmoud Abbas. And I remember that well, because I found myself surrounded by 6'5" Palestinians holding guns in a lift. And I remember the door of the lift closing, and the men were talking in their walkie-talkies. And to me it sounded something like this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yalla, yalla, yalla. Bukra, bukra, bukra. And in my head a little subtitle came up, we'll kill the white woman later. And when I looked at the guns, I thought, you know, I've seen this film before and it doesn't go well for the blonde lady. It was really, really deeply ingrained in me that Palestinians were terrorists, that people from other parts of the world who were Muslims were aggressive, that Islam was against me. If I was good, I could not be a Muslim. And Muslims couldn't be good because they couldn't help themselves being bad. Strange to think of that now, standing here. That first trip to Palestine, I went for Eid in Jenin, and I had to travel in